every flower, everything is worked out through the divine power. So we should not have our ego that we can do something ourselves, we can manage ourselves. Once you have that kind of a thing, you are not yet that much developed. You are not that much grown up in Sahaja Yoga. But to grow up in Sahaja Yoga should not be difficult for you because you have guidelines. Those people who got their realization, very few of them, like Sufis, and we had some saints in India, all of them. How much they must have struggled. Nobody to guide them, nobody to help them, nobody to tell them about what they can achieve. And despite that, they, they were very satisfied people, very happy people, and they worked it out so well. They saw the whole world with another angle, as you can also see. But they were not upset and they had such self confidence. They had such uh, knowledge of their own that they achieved through their meditative process. And the way they have written books, some of them are so great. It's very surprisingly how they have achieved these great verses, such full of knowledge. One cannot understand that they had no guidance, nobody was to tell them. But one thing with them was that they always tried to look after their Sahasrara. Now, one thing is there obstructing Sahasrara is the movement of your agya into thoughts. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that stops your entry into Sahaja. Thoughts are coming all the time because a human being is born who reacts to everything. React to this and react to that, and the thoughts come in and thoughts go. There's a big crowd of thoughts. Because of that, your attention cannot cross over Agya and can reside in the Sastra. So, first of all, one should see what sort of thoughts are coming. You have to condemn yourself sometimes. You have to say, what nonsense, what have I been doing? What's the matter with me? How could I do all that? Once you start doing that, these thoughts will start disappearing. These thoughts are coming from two angles, one from the ego and another from your conditionings. And these are so much built up within you that they don't allow your agya to be crossed. That's why we have two bija mantras of Ham Ksham. First one is when it is conditioning, you are endowed with this kind of a fear. I shouldn't do like this, I shouldn't do like that, is not allowed, that is not allowed. That's the conditioning part of it. Conditioning can be of many types. But the ego part of it is that I must overpower everybody, I must get this, I must be able to rule everyone. These two things are there in the mind, which are all the time crossing. So it's important that we should go into thoughtless awareness. And that thoughtless awareness is the real way that your Sahasrara can be nourished by the Kundalini. Because Kundalini cannot go through, cannot pass through. And for that, as I said, there are two Bija mantras. One is Ham, another Ksham. So if you are conditioned, you are frightened, you are afraid, and you had ideas about yourself. These days, the way people are describing, they'll say, I'm an extrovert. Somebody will say, I'm an introvert. Somebody will say, I'm hippie, I'm that, I'm that. All kinds of things they can have attributed to themselves. But these ideas are all coming from outside, they're not from inside. To get to the inner side of yourself, the subtler side of your being, you must allow the Kundalini to go through the Agya. To cross the Agya is a very important thing in modern times. And for that, you have to meditate. If you can meditate with complete faith in yourself, this Agya can be opened up with surrendering to the divine. You have to surrender yourself to the divine. And when this agya opens, you'll be amazed. Your Sahasrara is just waiting to transfer, to give you all the help that you need through the all pervading power. Your connection of Sahasrara with all pervading power is established. And by that, you will be amazed how all these seven chakras work for you, how they help you, how they try to give you whatever is the real knowledge about everything. This real knowledge that you get is very joy giving. You can see this real knowledge in everything. You don't have to start reading any book about it. In every situation and in every person, in every flower, in every natural happening, you see clearly the hand of the divine. Once you see the hand of the divine, your ego starts disappearing. Once you say that it's you, you do everything. Kabira has said something great about this. He said that when the goat is alive, it goes on saying, I am, I am, I am. But when it is slaughtered and its intestines are made into strings, which are used for cleaning the cotton, then it said, tu hi, you are, you are, you are. See, in this symbolic way, they have suggested that you have to become the dissolved into this divine power. It's the divine power that does everything. What am I? I was just a drop and I fell into this ocean of awareness of the divine power. And that is taking over and working it out. That will help you a lot to be a great surgeon. You develop curing powers, but still you are not proud of it. You developed, of course, awakening powers, you are not proud of it. You develop so many creative powers and you are not proud of it. You become really very, very creative, extremely creative. But the greatest thing happened to you that you become a global personality. So you start seeing the problem of every country, of every other nation where they have problems. But these problems, when you see, you don't see like other people because others may like to use it for their own purpose, maybe for media, maybe for something. What you want to see is that these problems are solved. See that your powers are so great with their this kind of a mind, I would say, which is dominated completely by the divine power, that it whatever disturbs you immediately is taken over and it starts working out. Many problems have been solved by surgery. And also they can be solved on a very universal level. If you are a global person, if you are a global person, then what happens is that you become a sort of a vehicle, or you can become like a channel for this divine power to act because you are purely a global personality. Not attached to this, attached to that, but a pure Sahaja personality, which can be used by this divine power very easily. For that, as I told in the afternoon also, that we have to be careful about few things that we have. Firstly, anger. Anger is the worst thing that we have. Angry for what? There are people who talk like this. I was very angry. They're proud of their anger. Anger is a sign of complete stupidity, absolute stupidity. There's no need to get angry with anyone because by anger you don't solve the problem. With anger you spoil yourself. With anger you ruin your own nature. With anger you really spoil the whole situation. So no use having any anger about anything. But if anything happens that angers you, you should settle down and see for yourself why is it wrong? Why is it disturbing you? Your seeing itself will help this problem to be solved. You must first of all realize that you are a special personality, that your Sahasrara has been opened out to this all divine power, as if you are entered into the realm of divinity. You are great guests in that great court of divine domain. You are not an ordinary person. And so once you understand why you have Sahaja Yoga and why you have got realization, is that there's something special. But that should not give you any ego. It's not for ego that you have to have this, but it's for understanding that you have to play into the hands of the divine. It is, this play is something I could explain like this, that if you are supposing an artist, then in the hand of the artist is the brush, and the brush is never thinks that it is doing anything. It's the artist who is doing everything. In the same way, when you are one with the divine power, you just feel, I'm not doing anything. It's the artist who is doing. It's the artist who is managing. And who is the artist? Is this divine power which loves you, which cares for you, which looks after you, which absolutely is identified with you. You'll be surprised. I've got so many letters from people how Surge has helped them, how at the right moment they got the help, at the point of complete destruction, how they were saved. So many people have written to me, but I'm not surprised because if you are one with the divine, it looks after. It has all the powers, all the powers. Only one power it doesn't have, to control. If you want to ruin yourself, it gives you freedom. Complete freedom. If you want to ruin yourself, ruin. If you don't want to accept divine power, all right, don't accept. It's a complete freedom to do what you like with yourself. That is one thing it has given. And that's why you must curb down that freedom and respect the divine power. Today is, I like the day when it is a mother's, I should say Mother's Day also, because I think only a mother can work it out that way. One has to have lots of patience with me. What I've seen about all these great incarnations who came, they just disappeared in a very short time they lived, very short time. Somebody was crucified about 33 years of age. Somebody took a samadhi at 23 years of age. Because I think they couldn't bear the way people were stupid. They couldn't see the point that they could do something for human beings. They lost their confidence, I think, or maybe that they thought it's useless to work for these people. Like that, they took a position that is better to disappear. But mother's position is different. She'll go on struggling and fighting for her child. She'll fight it out to the last to see that the child gets all the benefits. And this patience and this love and this forgiveness is innately built in a mother. Because her attitude is very different. Not any achievement, not any big name or a, what you call, a sort of an award or anything. It is just she does it because she is a mother. And that is what is the sign of any mother. If she's a real mother, at least for her own children, she will go all out. She will work out everything for day in and day out and try to save the child from disaster. But Sahaja Yoga is a much bigger family. And for that, you really had to be worked out through the mother's principle. You cannot take any other principle. Like there were very great warriors we had, and they have done a great job also, and they have worked out as warriors. Then we had some who were very sacrificing. All kinds of people there were. They worked very hard to establish dharma in people, but they could not. I thought of one thing, that no use establishing dharma. First of all, give them realization. When in the light of the spirit, they see what's wrong, they become dharmic automatically. Best way is to do that, not to force dharma on them. Because you put dharma on them, they don't know how to bear it. They can't digest. So this will be the best way, is to just uh, make them aware of their spirit. Once the light of the spirit comes, in the light they see everything clearly, then no problem is there. And that's why this mother's quality is very helpful. I mean, in every country, there has been a manifestation of the mother principle in every country. And it has been depicted and said. But later on, it was taken over by people who didn't want to talk about mother because they could not justify themselves the way they were behaving. So they said, best is not to talk of the mother. Also, those who were very much advanced people, very matured, who were really incarnations, did talk about the mother all the time, but still talk was talk. Now this has to work out as a mother has to work. So in your own way, when you are doing surgery, there also you have to be a mother. More mother's quality than the father's quality. That there's no ambition, there's no competition, there's no jealousies, nothing. Just you want your children to come up and to grow in their spirituality. If that is the only attitude we have, then you'll be amazed how satisfied you'll feel, because this is a very, very joy giving thing to see people growing in spirituality. Not only talking about it, not only reading about it, but actually happening, actualizing within us. So, this quality is very helpful, and that really helps every surgeon to be patient, to be kind, to be humble. But you have to correct also. There's a way of correction of another person, of people who are coming not from the divine world but from the normal world. So it's a difficult task to correct them. Some people are so hot tempered they can't bear it. Doesn't matter. You have to forgive them. But best is to concentrate on people who are simple, who are loving, who are affectionate. And then gradually all these complicated people also will join. Your way of dealing with others has to be motherly. The motherly relationship has to be there. I was surprised that in the Western literature, I don't find any description of a child and a mother's relationship. Very surprised. There's no description at all. How the mother sees the child, how he walks, how he falls down, how he gets up, and how he talks. All kinds of beautiful things as described, but not in the Western countries. I don't know, they never saw this point, I think. That is very important, that to describe the attention of the mother, how she's loving, how she's kind, how she tolerates so much nonsense, and how she keeps it in as a sort of a forgiving thing, not just to use it against the child or to trouble. Sometimes you have to correct, you have to tell, but at the right time, at the right place, if they are told, the child also sees the point, whatever is there. The first most convincing thing is the affection and the love of the mother. She goes on forgiving and giving that assurance that I have a mother. nothing can happen. And this assurance works very well. But the same assurance you have to give to other Sajogis who are getting realization from it. Let them feel that you are not angry with them. They are stupid, I know. They are sometimes violent. I've gone through all kinds of people. But only thing that has worked is pure love. Pure love has no uh, attributes of expecting something. You just give love and try to improve that person with full attention. But in divine work, you don't have to get attached to that person. Supposing there's somebody who is not up to the point, is also troublesome, gets angry with you, annoyed, insults you. So forget it. There are many others. There's no need to run after one person to get attached to that person or to make them feel. Now, main thing is that I feel all the Sahajogis always feel that I am their own, which is a fact. Whether I talk to you, whether I meet you, or whatever it is, you have to know that I'm your mother. And any problem you have, you can always tell me. But sometimes the way people tell me problems also, I feel how low they are. Their mentality is so low. What are they asking me? Supposing you go to some king and ask him for, say, $50, then what will the king say? What is the matter with this person? He doesn't know what he should ask for. In the same way, one feels that way that when you are asking anything to your mother, it should be of some value, some great value. It should have the value of complete satisfaction. When you ask for something, it should give you complete satisfaction. But I've seen people asking for this thing, for that thing, for I mean, it's to such an extent that I sometimes feel, oh God, how am I getting all these people around me who are desiring something very low, very mean, very insipid? But if you are one with the Sahasrara, then Sahasrara itself works. It will bring you contact with people, in contact with such people that you are amazed how it works. I went to Turkey and my experience of Turkey has proved that beyond doubt. I never expected, but the Turkish people of all the people of the world have taken to Sajoga just like a windfall. Can't understand how they have accepted. And there were at least 2,000 people in the follow up. And people were finding it impossible to get them round and tell them. And when they had very close meetings, also, they had so many people, and they continue to be there. Now, maybe that is a very disturbed country with fundamentalism very much working out. But everywhere, every country has problems and has, we should say, a kind of a very destructive image. Every country has. But in some countries, I don't know how it sparks. And once they become Sajogis, no problem. There's no problem about anything. Once they are Sajogis, you see, you don't have to tell them. They themselves work it out. They understand it. What is it? Like we have every country which has problems, which has people who are not of a very great level, who are not great seekers. Maybe in some countries, I feel those who were great seekers are lost. Like England, I feel that all the seekers are lost by drugs, hippism, all nonsense. America is the worst of all, which is so much lost into wrong seeking. And it's difficult to find people there who have right seeking. Gradually, it is working out. But still, I must say, we should not think of any one particular country where Saj Yoga is not working out so much, or in some places working out so much. It is what we have to think globally. that Sahaja Yoga is growing. And you are part and parcel of that society, which is Sahaja Yoga. It's a very rare society which they never had. They had one or two Sufis here and there, one or two realized souls here and there, who only suffered. All their lives they were tortured. Nobody looked at them. I had great hopes about Maharashtra, but I'm so disappointed because they tortured all these great saints all throughout so badly, in such a mean manner, that I think they are still paying for it. And despite the fact I've done so much work there, what I feel is that their karmas are not good because they still, I would say, it's a rotten country. It's become so rotten. You can see that the way people are behaving and whole thing is so bad. Though Saj Yoga is there, no doubt, but I wouldn't say it is of that level as it is in the north of India. Very surprising. North Indians never knew anything about Saj. They were not such religious people either. But how the North people have taken to Saj Yoga is very surprising. So you can't say where the light will show. Just can't say. And wherever it shows, we should accept. Wherever it doesn't show, we should not feel bad about it. What can you do? You cannot sort of break their heads for Sahasrara. Their Sahasrara has to be opened up. And with your motherly love, with your motherly understanding, I'm sure you can do it. Not may not be to the same extent in every country, but I'm sure as I feel that maybe the punyas of these great saints will work. And maybe wherever I felt little bit disappointed, I feel that all these places will work out and Saj Yoga will grow. But first and foremost is your Sahasrara. Only your Sahasrara can reflect the light of the divine. So your Sahasrara is extremely important. You must meditate to enrich your Sahasrara, to cure it, to make it completely nourished by the Kundalini. There's no need to do many rituals, but meditation and also little bit of taking bandhan even now today is necessary, I think, uh, when you go out, because still Kali Yuga is working its own pangs and the Satya Yuga is trying to come. We are the ones who are going to support, look after the Satya. And that's why the Sahasrara opening is very, very important. It's very important. And those who want to grow should meditate every day, whatever time you may come home, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, any time. But you will know that you are meditating when you can get into thoughtless awareness. Then you will know. Your reaction will be zero. Look at something, you'll just look at it. You won't react because you are thoughtless. You won't react. When that reaction is not there, then everything you'll be surprised is divine. Because reaction is your gas problem. Once you are absolutely thoughtlessly aware, you are one with the divine. So much so that divine takes over every activity, every moment of your life and looks after it. And you feel completely secure, one with the divine, and enjoy the blessings of the divine. May God bless you.